But I became very distressed. I wasn't sleeping, and I actually went to a counsellor and said to her that I'm thinking of killing Simon and killing myself, and I was very serious. Well, Simon was born sickly to start with, and then first thing we discovered was he was deaf. So he was deaf in both ears at certain times. And then when he was about 2.5, and he wasn't doing the normal things that children do, our specialist gave him the diagnosis of having at the time they called it severe mental retardation. That's what was written on the assessment form. So he has an intellectual disability. And he's also autistic. And about 3 or 4 years ago, Simon developed bipolar disorder, which I think has been the worst out of all of them. So his behaviour and his whole life sort of changed upside down. So for 20 days, Simon very rarely goes to bed. He walks through the house looking for what mischief he can do, and he's on a high. So for 20 days, my husband and I take turns in trying to stay up all night, and it's difficult because we do fall asleep. There will be 3 nights where he won't actually hit the bed at all. Do you want to go to bed? Wide awake. It's going to be one of those nights when we don't have a sleep tonight, by the looks of it. Today is Friday, so since Sunday till today, Simon hasn't had more than a couple of hours sleep every night. So it's about midnight now, so probably about 2 o'clock in the morning. About that time, if he gets sick of putting all his books and things on the floor, he'll lie down in bed. Then about 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, he gets up again. And because I can hear him, then I come and I bring him back to bed again. And then about 6:30, I give up and we get up. Coffee, coffee! Medicine. Let's go. No. Mum's not the best shaver. Ooh. What's here? We got something happening here. A little cold sore, I think. Oh, something happening there, Simon. Oh, we put a bit of tea tree oil on it, okay? Shoes. Hang on to Mummy. Open the mouth.
Come on.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Yeah, just a little one in case you get wet, okay? You can take it off at the school if you want to. Put your bag down. We have a big cuddle goodbye. Put your bag down. Ah, don't wipe my kiss. Don't you wipe it off. Can I kiss you? Yeah? You're wiping my kiss? You don't like to wipe my kiss.
We hear many stories from carers who are absolutely desperate for some respite or more support. We have heard from some family carers that they do think about self-harm and suicide, and it is a growing phenomena at the moment. There have been a couple of instances of murder-suicides in the news over the last few years, and unfortunately we are hearing people use words like, I would rather kill myself and then kill my child than leave them in this circumstance.
Well, 4 years ago I stopped working full-time because I found I couldn't work without falling asleep. So I stopped working and I now work for myself at home. So obviously I'm exhausted. I'm not a person who sleeps during the day, so we keep going during the day. And then when you don't sleep for 2 or 3 nights, well, it does, obviously. My mental health has probably suffered a lot because there are so many people on waiting lists. And one of the problems with Respite, which is a huge problem, and is that many people get to the end of their tether, many carers, so they relinquish their son or daughter, and there is no place for them, so they get put permanently into respites, which means there is less respite available for families like myself who are trying to cope with our child at home but need a couple of days, a week or a month to have a break.
Life can be tough for carers, but there's a glimmer of hope. In late February, the Productivity Commission released a draft report which recommended the creation of a National Disability Insurance Scheme. The NDIS will be a bit like Medicare. It will create a dedicated fund of over $12 billion to ensure that people with disabilities get the care and support they need.
Okay, thank you.
The final report from the Productivity Commission will provide a real test for the government that they can act in the national interest and come up with a scheme that will give people with disabilities the care and support they've been looking for a long time.
I'm very pleased to be here to launch the Victorian Government's response to the Productivity Commission's draft report on disability care and support. For too long, people with a disability, their families and carers haven't been able to access the support they need. It's as basic as that. We've got a system that currently requires them to wait in a queue until money becomes available, and a National Disability Insurance Scheme would change that to becoming an entitlement, so that if you have a disability, if you're born with it or acquire it, you get access to the services you need.
Hello. Are you home from school? Looking very, very, very tired. You're tired today.
4 or 5 years ago, when Simon was really not sleeping and became a little bit destructive and a little bit violent towards my mother and I, who were both caring for him, and we'd called in DHS and the I think it's called the behaviour team, the BIS team, and we were trying strategies for Simon to calm down, and I wasn't sleeping and he was screaming and hitting out at me. I really felt that, I couldn't go on like this. But I became very distressed. I wasn't sleeping, and I actually went to a counsellor and said to her that I'm thinking of killing Simon and killing myself, and I was very serious, and she was very concerned about me, and I actually had counselling, but I was so distressed that I went to a minister's office and I said, if I don't get help, I'm actually going to kill myself. I think it must have given her a fright, so she informed her department that they needed to take Simon off me that night. So that night they rang me and said that they were bringing a taxi for Simon and to put him in a respite for a few days so that I would calm down. To actually threaten, but it's a genuine threat, to either kill your child and commit murder-suicide to actually get a service. That's what happened to me.
Yeah. Have nice hands so you don't pick all that skin off. Good boy.
We love Simon very much, and we think he's a wonderful thing in life, and in fact, in my culture and in our belief, we believe Simon is a blessing in our lives, and we love having him in our lives, but that doesn't mean we cope all the time with him. When he's happy and well, we just laugh and play with him all day, and when he's angry and upset and he doesn't sleep, it breaks our hearts, to be honest. It makes our lives very hard.
Hey, you might fall asleep tonight. You might fall asleep tonight.